episode of Mommy Needs a Break podcast. It's a podcast for moms like us who don't have it together, but that's okay because we're still great moms. I'm Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop everywhere.
And I am Marisa Johnson, and she is Marisa J. Make sure to follow Mommy Needs a Break on all platforms on MNAB Podcast, and you can check out our website. Actually, you know what? When I say that, I'm like, our website ain't got no updates, but hey, maybe we'll
But who was supposed to be updated?
I don't know. Maybe your brother. At MNABpodcast.com.
Marisa was supposed to do it.
I probably was on a break. It probably was. No, I think I gave you access.
No, you never gave me access.
I gave Chris access.
Well, we'll have to take it up with him. All right, so this episode we're talking about, what are we talking about? Fatherly advice, following your dreams, bunch of stuff. You know, we always have a great guest, and this week we got a daddy guest. We love our daddy guest because they give us a really good perspective. Now, if you've seen me on WhatsApp, you know this guy because he's been on there too. He is a father, he is a husband, he's a comedian, he's a great roaster. So don't ever cross his path because he'll roast the life out of you.
We're not doing that, right?
No, we're not gonna. I'm not roasting nobody.
You better
I know
not.
better than to be roasting some mamas. What? Please.
We'll be, yes.
You ever see a lion around a lioness? He'd be the quietest lion. He'd be like, man, hey, roar.
See, exactly.
No
See,
smoke.
already, guys.
No smoke.
And you can catch him on HBO Max's Love Life. He did amazing on there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Y'all give it up for Chris Powell, CP.
Thank
What's
you,
up,
guys.
CP?
Thank you. What's up?
C-Pizzle, my nizzle.
What's up? Congratulations.
Thank you.
On our
the
baby.
bunny, that little bow, the little bow bun.
Yes, the little bow bun I got
Bow
here.
butt.
I saw you the other day you did a set at Soho House. Killed it.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
So I gotta tell you this. My friend was there and she was a little bit tipsy and she was just like, you had this joke about being, first of all, if you don't know CP, his humor is like very like, should I laugh at that? Because it's offensive. It is on the line all the time. And you had this joke about an amputee. I was cracking up. The dudes behind us was rolling. Mind you.
She said something to me after the show.
She,
Friend? Who was it? Erin?
I can't, why would you
Oh,
say?
sorry.
She did. She was a little tipsy, but she was just like, while you were saying that, she was like, that's not funny. We can't laugh at that. That's what she said. And I was like, girl, shut up. This is a comedy show.
Well, here's the thing, okay? The joke is just about the fact that as an entertainer, I feel like we lean too much into y'all make some noise and do it's like this ain't like virtual reality. It's not a 3D experience. Like y'all out there to receive a show. I don't like asking the audience to work. And so I made up a story where it's like, you can't do that everywhere. You can't be like, y'all could do better than that. And so I said I went to this amputee conference and I didn't know that I was booked there. And so I walked out with my ego, like, put them together. Shit, I done flew all this way. And then, you know,
They
like,
couldn't clap their hands. They didn't
couldn't clap
have.
their hands. I was like, oh, that's why y'all was beatboxing. And you know what I'm saying? And I was saying this lady had lost both her arms to the shoulder. And I'm like, what got you? Like a dinosaur? Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what? That was very precise. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you go to the little alligator experience? You never know, because you got to sign a waiver. And there's people who we know who have lost extremities.
She was not laughing. No, girl.
She
At
knows
that
somebody
whole
personally
place.
who lost their arm?
No, it wasn't even. It was like but again, CP's humor is that he's always on the
layers in.
line.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you feel bad for laughing,
Right.
but it's funny, right? And so she didn't get that.
Up to you.
She came up to him. We was in the elevator after she said something to you. She said that it was the dudes that was sitting behind us, and she was like, "Hey, you were laughing at the amputee joke, weren't you?"
She is crazy.
Girl, I was in there. I said, y'all, please don't mind her. She just had a
She
little
was
too
like,
much to
hey,
drink.
that was a very nice show, but can I talk to you for a second? I was like,
that
what's
looks
up?
like her.
She was like, that amputee thing? I don't know. Because I'm like,
Not even a real story.
respectfully, ma'am. Like, I think I can, but I think that what's interesting about that is that I try to, I understand that everything that I do is going to be seen eventually. Like, my daughters are very, very in tune with what I am and who I am.
Yeah.
They're very excited about it,
That's good.
And, so moving here from Michigan, they go to school with people whose parents are stuff. And so out here,
Are
the
what?
kids are people. Like,
Oh,
they're like,
okay. Yeah.
my dad is an animator,
Oh, right.
so and so, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so that's their thing,
Yeah.
I'm from Detroit, but we used to be like, my mom is on crack, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different.
I'm
Like,
working at post office,
you
like
brag
regular.
different, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
these kids out here, they're really, and so I try to make sure that what I do, I can always justify it.
Yeah.
So that's why I like towing the line, because if you know me outside of comedy, then you understand that I'm very thought provoking.
Yeah.
So it's like I can always talk about what brought me to this punchline or what made me think about this premise and what it's about, because that opens the conversation. I think that a lot of comedians are saying stuff for shock value, and then it's so not thought out that they're easy to attack on
For a viral moment
style basis. Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, everything is like so deeply thought out. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where it's like I'm a nerd about it. So yeah.
Yeah, amputee joke.
It would be your friend.
It was. I was like, Chad, if you don't stop saying stuff to people, the man on
I heard her when I was on stage. She said, "That ain't funny," and I was like,
Shit.
I was like, "Oh
I'm
shit."
sorry, CP. She ain't coming with me no more. She knows I'm not bringing you no more, girl, because that was.
It's all good.
I was cracking up because she really was in there. She was looking around. She was like, "Oh my gosh, guys! Like we can't laugh at that." I was like, "If y'all shut up."
The part I said that when I looked around the room, I realized everybody was missing something, and they looked like those fucked up toys on Toy Story 2, the one that they was beefing with. Remember the one that, you know what I'm saying?
The ones that come out like this?
Yeah.
Right, but that's like, it's funny because we all knew what he was talking about, but she just was like, she was looking around like,
feeling
we
it.
can't laugh at that.
Yeah. I'm like, I remember I was like, "Are you missing something?" I had to look at her. Are you good? She was like, "Oh, I'm fine, but I'm just
Not this. I'm
Hair all big.
I'm an ally for the limitless." You know what I'm saying? Like what?
It always has to be me bringing these people to this country. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all good.
But she laughed at some of your other stuff though.
Yeah, that was
A couple other things.
Yeah, that was
Funny. I love her.
I love her. Hey, let's get into our first segment, Ain't No Shame. We talk about shameful moments in parenting or in life, but we don't shame each other. So what you got, Marisa?
Let's see. Ain't no shame in letting your kids fist fight.
Wait, what? Like Fight Club? Like,
That's lit, though. That's lit. I was the only child. I used to get my ass whooped. I never had a sparring partner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you have two little girls.
Yeah,
They're like 2 and 4.
We were here at the space, and I mean they're always here. They're troopers. They be with us everywhere, and they're 4 and 2, and they just fight. Like the little one, the second child, she is like a whole. Like, what's the word? What's the word I use for her?
Firecrackers.
No, she's not a fire.
Oh,
she's like
Sour Patch.
No, she's like a savage. Like everything she does, like when the older one leaves her, like say she goes to the bathroom for food, she'll just run over there, eat her food real fast, and then like act like she didn't do it. And I'm just like looking at her like, why do you act like there's not enough food for the both of you? They were like downstairs yesterday, and the older one's iPad, she left it there because she went to go do something, and she just snatched it up. And then the older one came back, and they're like fighting over iPad, and then she just took the iPad and just knocked her with it. And the little one, the little baby one,
She is a savage.
and her dad's like, just let him go, just let him go. And I'm like, not
Let
in
them
like
fight it out to the death? Like,
I mean, we just let them fight, and then a couple minutes later, they're hugging each other, kissing on each other. But I mean, I can't just break them up. They fight so much now. It's just like, let them fight, I guess.
may the odds be in your favor, whoever wins.
The little one.
She does. I had to look at her. She did, because I was at her house today, and she took the little marker board eraser and was hiding it and was looking at the 4-year-old like test me. And I was like, you looking for a fight?
Yes, she does. She looks for a fight. She's ready for the fight.
She is.
And I'm like, okay. And she makes the big one cry, and it's just
She does.
sad. But you just gotta let them fight. I don't know the logic behind it. It's just I feel like you just gotta let them figure it out.
Up the 4-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
She is very sensitive. Sweet.
Yeah.
She's very sweet.
Wait, do you have 2 girls? Is
I
that
have
like
2
what you
girls.
got? Did you let them do that?
One of them is sweet, and one of them is like very meddlesome and kind of like
It's
just
always
does
one.
stuff. And it's the oldest one who's like picks on the little one,
Oh.
and I'm always having to like defend the little one, but then I feel bad because I feel like
Yeah.
everybody's against the older one. So then I jump on her side and be like, "You gotta stop being a baby about stuff." But it's like, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
It's so
I think that's what it is. I don't want to take sides.
yeah.
I don't want to take a side
Yep.
because I understand them both. The oldest is just sweet, and I don't want to be like, you need to beat her. Well, I do tell. I like, just put your hand out when people get in your face. Just put it out here so no one can get you. So now she'll be like, oh yeah. And I'm like, if someone touches you, she's like, she's touching me. I'm like, yell at her, tell her don't touch you. She's like,
I mean, that is
touch
true.
me.
Oh.
I try to like get her to stick up for herself, but she's very sweet. And then I don't want to like make like you said, I don't want to take sides. So I just let them fight.
It's so rough, man.
Fight.
It's like, I like both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really rock with y'all for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, Man, it's just, yeah, so
And how old are your girls?
they're 7 and 10.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the
so
7-year-old is
close.
just so sweet.
Yeah.
Like she's just like she's great in school because she's like a people pleaser, right? But that kind of bothers me
Oh,
sometimes because I'm like, man, we're assholes in this family. You know what I'm saying? It's like my oldest is with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And my youngest one is just like, you know, like for example, when they were on Zoom for school. Like, I understand that you're in class, but like, I'm daddy. I'm the king of all teachers and everybody. So like, you know, I come in and I try to be like, hey, you okay? You need a snack? And she just like, doesn't take her eyes off the screen. Daddy ain't focusing. Get this damn class. This is first grade. Like, I teach you everything. Like, do you need a snack? And she just be like, we're not allowed to. I'm like, sneak a snack. And she won't, she like,
Oh, she's
The
not a
rule
rule breaker.
follower.
She's not a rule breaker.
I feel like she'll snitch on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? She get right in the room like, well, I told him not to do it, but can I tell you this? It's like, man, so, but I also love her for that too. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it's so different. But I can relate because that's how I was as a kid a little bit. They had to like beat me up to get that beast in me because I was just like, everyone's kind. And Jesus said that I was in private.
That was you?
Oh, I was in private.
Really?
You are like the ultimate roaster. You say the meanest things
Can
to
I
people
tell you?
out of.
Tell you? So what happens is, first of all, when I was a little skinny, frail kid, and I remember like got talked into like fighting this bully, and right before I was gonna fight him, he picked up this fat girl who I couldn't pick up.
what?
And he was like, you better stop playing with me. He was just playing with her. She's like, you better stop. And he put her down. I was like, oh shit, this nigga stronger than a Muslim. and so I was like, man, like, I gotta figure something else out. Like, you know, I was finna scrap this dude. Like a couple hours was finna go by. He's finna have me doing tricks, you know what I'm saying? So I just being funny became like a defense mechanism because I was always the smartest kid in the class. I was always the kid that had to answer and got on everybody's nerves. And so I tried to add funny to that to make me somebody cool to be in class with. Plus, I moved around a lot. So like new school, I had to be, I was cracking jokes as like a defense. And I started to understand how to hurt people's feelings, but then also how to create shit that's not even real about them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like and so that's why I'm a good roaster because it's like, I'm not even gonna roast something that's real. I'll make up something and then go on that. And then that's just what I can rest in. Like, David Lucas, you such a fucking hoe. That's a Kanye video. But he got big shoulders. And so here we are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that. So, but yeah, like, man, this comes from extreme nerdship to be able to be this evil with roasting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a shameful parenting moment?
Oh yeah, do you?
Oh, man.
I'm sure you have plenty.
Okay, so like, I remember like when my daughter was like 2, I thought that, we were broke. We was living in Michigan. Right. I was broke. I was doing comedy at night, making a couple dollars here and there. Christmas came around, and I just want her to have stuff under the tree. And she's 2, so I'm like, she's gonna rip the paper. She's not gonna care, whatever. And so my wife was like, just stop. She got it. I'm like, no, give me one of them high C box juices. I'm gonna wrap that up and put it under the tree. It's a box, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember the look on her face at 2 was just like, she ripped it open and was like,
For real.
and I was like, oh, she knows. It was like, you know, just, you realize like, man, you can't get one over on these kids, man. I was broke and I was trying to, you know, and she still talks about it.
She still remembers from
she's
2?
10. And she comes over, people come over, like, yeah, Dad, remember you gave me that high seat for Christmas? And I opened it up and it was a fruit punch. And I'm like, why? And I was like, yeah, like she don't forget nothing. She'll say
That's funny.
So yeah, I can't think of nothing better than that. That's just my one for the day, I guess.
Shameful. That's a good idea. I think I might do something like that. I might give,
You gonna do what, Megan?
like for Christmas. I don't think I'm gonna give
high
Mav
C
Christmas.
box?
Yeah, I'm not giving him like real
Mav
Christmas.
is older.
Okay, but here's the thing. He gets gifts all the time.
Mav
So
isn't too-
See, that's the thing.
why I need to give him a gift on Christmas? Like
Don't-
underwear,
That's why I
socks?
say don't celebrate it.
But do y'all
Like, why
realize
celebrate it?
We came from that no generation.
Yeah.
What?
And we're not
No, you
that.
can't have
Like we
nothing?
go to the store,
Oh.
it's like
Oh.
a toy is $12. I don't understand
Yeah.
why they can't have it. And it's like, yeah, grab something, y'all are good, or y'all
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's like we come from that, like, don't even ask for nothing
don't
in
look
here.
at it.
So Christmas to us was like, I'm gonna get something for free.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Our kids is like, what time is it? Wake up at 10
Right.
on Christmas. Like, I'd be like, I'm already up. Like, y'all, you know what I'm saying?
My
They don't
kid
care.
told me that it's been 15 days and her slime sucker from Walmart.com hasn't arrived.
What?
And she thinks it got lost. She's 4. And I was like, excuse me,
That's
what?
that's pretty valid
She
though.
was
Walmart.com.
like, she was like, Walmart. My slime soaker was supposed to come from Walmart.com, and I think it got lost, mommy. Can you check? I was like, who bought you that? What? Daddy said he's getting it for me if I'm good. Like, it's just
I didn't even know it's not even ordered. Or,
No, nobody bought that. It was like, she thinks Walmart.com because she was on YouTube is a place like can we go to Walmart.com? Like she just thinks
she's so cute.
Yeah,
That's Jesus, man.
No, but it's like to your point, it's like she gets something all the time. So in my mind, I'm like, what is this?
So
holiday?
Christmas is nothing. So you get underwear socks. That's what I got. That's what you gonna get is underwear socks.
You're so mean.
What do you?
She's not going to do that.
Oh, women
She's
are
not going to do
women,
that.
You would.
I'm
Women,
absolutely gonna. He has grandparents
Post it.
and give him stuff for his birthday.
this is why we need mothers though, because y'all that's that balance. Because it's like. You're right. You are right. But I'm like, I'm on Amazon like, oh, they got these things. She's like, they don't. What are you? I'm like,
that's the
what are they-
dad. That's the dads.
That is dads.
That's
yeah.
the dads.
Because
So
it's
I'm
like, we
why'd
don't-
you get that for her?
We have to establish our connection. Like y'all connection, y'all are Bluetooth to these kids.
They came from you guys. That's what I always tell my husband. I'm
Yeah.
like, they came out of you and came into me.
Yeah, but they were so long ago when they was in me. I wasn't treating them good at all when they was in me. You know what I'm saying? He got brothers on the napkin. But you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's different. Like y'all really have there's nothing I could do to like come between that bond they have with their mom. They love me to death, but it's like I could tell that it's like I'm like an accessory to the family. Like, ooh, and we have dad. He'll buy us this.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, hey, everybody wants something. Carry it in the groceries, and they'd be like, ooh, dad, thank you. Anyway, and it's like so I just like, man, while I got them this little,
Yeah.
I have to do these things. My wife is scared of like guinea pigs and hamsters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter just so happened to ask for one this Christmas. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting it. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm like, listen, when she's 15 and she's asking for Balenciagas, we're gonna miss the hamster stage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you gotta go through every.
This at 15?
Oh,
Girl, these kids are.
this is
yeah.
Cali.
I'm
What?
ready for this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what? Yeah, she got some Yeezys the other day. I'm just looking at her
What?
like, you're not wearing those to school. She's like, well, that's the whole point. I was like, all right, well, okay.
Damn.
Like, where am I gonna wear these?
Right, yeah, I literally
Stunt.
go nowhere. I have no car. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Uber.
yeah, man, she is, they growing up.
No, that is true. That is funny that you say that when you're like dads are just accessories because I know my son, he'll be like,
Yeah, that's true.
he always, no, it's true because I know Mav will he'll FaceTime my mom or he'll be like, yeah, are you coming to me and mommy's house? And I was like, you mean and daddy? He was like, no, me and mommy's house. Like daddy just like,
Yeah,
he
he
just
just say that. I'm gonna go in mommy's bed. I'm like, your dad.
like, this
Yeah,
is like,
I
he's
swear to
just
God.
he's an extra person here, but none of this belongs to him. He's just like, he can leave if he needs to, but this is me and mommy's house. Like, this is our place.
They tell me, like, literally, like, oh, like, where's Cammy? She's in mommy's room. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
my room too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, and like, they like, like, I do this thing where it's like, I like to play the game, and I set up my garage to be my gaming place. But then I just got a new car. I got to put my car back in the garage, so now I'm back gaming where they can see me.
Yeah.
And they just don't like seeing a black man.
Playing video games?
But it's like they got it. I don't know where they got it from, but they be like, "Here you are in this game again," and I'd be like, not y'all." You know what I'm saying? Like, not y'all.
Oh, black
You on this
women in the
game
making.
Again. I'd be like, y'all. Please, can I do?
Because it's like, because you're doing something that doesn't include them. Do
Yeah.
you play the
Oh,
games
yeah.
with them?
Sometimes, but it's just the fact that it's like they think I'm like addicted to it. They be like, "Oh, just go play your game, Dad." Like I come up to my room and they all in my bed and they watching something. Go play your game, and I'd be like, "Man, I don't even live here for real." Like they just,
That
Man.
is
You like the roommate, the annoying roommate.
But I have a boy dog, and it's like it's me and him against everything. I swear to God, like that's my boy. Like
boy dog.
boy dog, that's all I got, man. Like I'm scared to make another kid. 'Cause if it's another girl, I'm like about to be under the house.
Yeah, I believe that.
But I'll tell you how to make a boy. That's for another day.
Okay, cool.
Somebody shared it with me. That's how I got a girl. Yeah. I mean, of course, the Lord chooses, but I think
Pomegranate juice.
no. It's a little science and
Cough
timing.
syrup?
Science and timing. I'll tell you about that.
Oh, you got to do it before you ovulate, right? So they have because they're slow.
You're gonna make me talk about it here.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
I mean, I'll just tell you now because I'm sure everybody's like, I wouldn't know. Basically, this girl told me this, and I was like, okay, let's try. Anyway, she said, like, boy swimmers are faster,
they're fast.
but they die quicker than the girl swimmers. So if you want a boy, technically you're supposed to have sex like the day before your ovulation or like the day of your ovulation. Like basically it's got to be really quick. So you need to know your ovulating cycle first, and then you'll know which day kind of like, okay, let me try this day. Now it's not 100%, but I have had people tell me this. I tried it and we got a girl, okay? And my fiance had 3 boys before. We have 3 boys.
Right.
And so he wanted a girl specifically. I wanted a girl.
So y'all did this to get the girl. So you waited for later in the cycle?
Well, so what I do is I did time my cycle, and then I was like, okay, for girls, you're supposed to go early. So meaning like, because girl swimmers, they're slower, but they die, like it takes them a little longer to die. So you're supposed to do like maybe 2 to 3 days before ovulation. Don't have sex after that. And then, you're technically supposed to get a girl, but again, it's based on the Lord, okay?
Got you.
But I mean, I tried it, it worked. This girl had told me how to do it. She had her boy and her girl, and I was like, okay, well, let me just see if it works.
Because see, the boys, that makes sense. Because like, you got to understand that a sperm probably has a very, very tiny muscle group. So I'm just saying, like for real, like it literally has a program of just a muscle and and so if they get tired, which is what it is, I don't think they just die, but like it's like slow and steady. Women like, all that running.
Right.
Dudes just floating around like, man, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? And then it's also like, what if my shit's shorter than her canal? Now it's like a marathon down the way. Then the boy's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Girl, like, we going to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I don't want to try that.
You don't want to chance it again with a third girl?
I think I'm gonna do it though. I think
do it. What if you have another girl?
Oh, then I'm out. I'm gonna just leave them.
Oh my God, you leave your family
man,
too many women.
They're an army, man, already. So they just gonna have another one in the thing, and I feel bad for my wife because, just that, like the kind of father that I am, like. I'm the kind of dad that I need my boys, because what I can do is, I'll take them on the road with me, and and I had their ass selling merch, and I had them doing stuff, and I'm at the barbershop with them, and because my wife be doing their hair, and she got to pick their outfits, and I try to buy clothes. I didn't ask you to buy no purple pants. I'm like, all right, my bad. You know what I'm saying?
She don't match nothing.
So it's just like I want to be involved, but it's hard to do with the girls, and so
I see.
But it's like if I had a little dude, like when I was a little fella, my dad just had me with him. Like I was just with my dad, so like I'm at whatever, or like I know my aunt, she was a Delta at Western, and her boyfriend was a Noob, and so when I would go visit her, I don't know why I was up there for like days, but I'm 5 years old, and like I'm in the Kappa house with the Noobs because she's at class, and so they got me. I'm holding the cane. They talking about yo baby yo, you remember that? So they just asked me to play. I'm like, I'm gonna be a Noob because you know what I'm saying. Like, but when you got little girls, it's all about protecting them. It's all about keeping them like preserved in a way, and it's just like it's just I feel bad because that puts so much pressure on the mom, and you just kind of got to be this help, like what you need, and she doing hair, and hair hurt, and then they crying, and the thing on the stove, and you just it's like it's a lot, and it's like, man, when you got a bunch of girls, your wife is like a single mother a little bit, and you just. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
But understand that it's not our fault. Like we would love to be able to be more help, but it's like, number one, every woman got a way that they want their girls to look. And they want them to be presented. And so it's like, I know that when my son comes, I don't want to hear nothing about how he look, how he dressed.
Oh, you're speaking this.
Oh yeah,
You
look, I'm gonna have 10 kids like Eddie Murphy until I get the guy. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, what if you have like 9 girls?
Oh, well then, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry for her.
Your wife will be so mad.
Man, for real. We're gonna have to get a surrogate and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you should do. Just go pick them up.
Yeah, go pick your boy. I mean, you got this Hollywood money. You better go ahead and get your love.
See, but then
Petri dish baby.
Right, but then he be evil. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You pick him like, hey, I was the sperm that was the serial killer. Because I know I got at least 8 serial killers out of these billion. I got 8 serial killers, 2 movie producers. Let me see. a couple models. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, so, yeah, you know.
That's the risk we take, okay?
Yeah, but I'd rather that than some doctor in there like, here's the good one. Like,
What are they, grade A eggs?
Yeah, grade A. You
Grade
get a grade
A
A
eggs.
embryo in
They
there.
grade them.
oh.
They grade them because once they put the egg and the sperm together, and then they take, I think, what did they take? They took a cell out of it, and they can tell like if they're like just genetically if there's any mess ups in the code, and so then they go, okay, well this embryo is an A, this one's like a B, and they'll give you like here's
what I didn't
the
like.
one you can implant.
'Cause here's
This
the
one's a
thing.
boy, this one's a girl.
I'm not gonna act like I didn't research this. I've been researching like over the last week or so. It's so crazy. And I saw them like it was like under a microscope, and they had like isolated one sperm, and they sucked them into a syringe.
Yeah.
And then I saw them find the egg, and so this is the egg and the needle, and they just like push and it pop, and I'm like, yo, you fucking the egg up right there. Like that, my baby gonna leak all over the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like let him chew the thing and get in there. Like look who's talking.
Let him do
You know
it
what I'm saying?
himself.
Who's talking?
Remember that?
That was the best movie. I love that
But
movie.
I just hated the cold open. Every cold open was sperm and
Yes,
and I'm
and
trying to
then-
be uncomfortable with my mom. Like I know what this is, because daddy got that movie, but I don't want to say nothing. 'Cause,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great
So,
movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you being a comedian. What made you go, my actual profession is going to be comedy?
Man, I got real cool. Like my mom's like super like life of the party kind of person. And my dad is just like super like charming and cool. But like they don't have, I have a taste of both. Like my mom is not charming and cool. She's so life of the party that you like, all right, lady, the party over. No, it ain't. I got macaroni ball. You know what I'm saying? She's that.
Wow.
And then my dad is like, you know what I'm saying? Like just every man, woman, child, animal is just like his best friend.
Aw.
Like everywhere he go, everybody like, man, who is this? He's just that guy. And it's just, it's in him, not on him. You know what I'm saying? He just, and so it's like, I think that, coming up, I just realized that I really liked making people laugh with those eyebrow raising kind of jokes. You want to know my first joke that I told?
Right.
In fourth grade? Let you know what kind of nerd I was. So fourth grade, they're asking us, the teacher asked us, all right, so there's an animal called a beaver, and a beaver, he stops these river flows, and he has these nests. And in that river, in that nest, we've actually learned how to create these on our own. And what is that called? And I was like, ooh. She's like, yeah, it's Chris. I was like, damn. But the answer is damn.
Right.
So the kids are dying laughing. The teacher is laughing because it's a double entendre that I can curse, and that's the answer. And so I'm just saying it. And she's like, stop. And everybody's laughing, and I'm like, oh, this feel good.
Funny.
But like my mom used to tell me every day, like, you're the best and you're the most handsome. And it would only last till like third hour. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, man, I'm back regular. You know what I'm saying? But like in the morning, you be charged up. But, it's just like they really, like my mom used to buy me like Richard Pryor tapes for Christmas.
Wow.
I used to rent like my Blockbuster nights was like renting specials. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? So like I would get, as a kid. And so,
Were they ever like, it's too much curse? They didn't care about it.
No, they didn't care about I couldn't curse. But like, you know what I'm saying? And my mom, she made a lot of decisions that were so unorthodox that I think that really helped me. Like, so like, I remember like when I was 12 years old, I got caught puffing on my dad's roaches, his little joint roaches. And so it felt so good. I took it down the street to my friends, and I got the whole block in trouble. All the kids was fucked up, because we was all down at my boy crib. Like, I'm telling you this, and so I got high one time and went home and told my dad, thinking he was cool. He flipped out, told my mom, and they took me down to like our Skid Row. Like, you want to be one of these? And I was like, was it just weed they were doing? Like, but I mean, I have questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are their GPAs? Right. So that was 12, and I stopped. And then when I got 15, I went to this new high school. I got kicked out of the gifted high school because it was just too many girls. I was showing off too hard. I couldn't handle it. I'm just being honest with you. Like, it was like, these girls is grown. Like, they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got earrings and shit. Like, fuck class. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go to this like a neighborhood school, which was like, just all of the thugs and whatever.
Right.
And what was I about to say? Wait, what was I talking about?
Oh, how you was talking about the roaches, and then you were talking about.
Oh, right.
Unorthodox
So went to the
parenting.
hood school and just trying to be fit in. I bought a nickel bag from this dude. I'm like, I'm back on the weed. And I went home and I was smoking, and then my mom like, you high? And I'm like, oh, fuck, she finna, But she was like, man, look, don't be, because I came home high. She said, where were you? I was at the park. And she's like, you just out here just trying to. She's like, no, tell you what. She's like, you got your little weed. You smoke that weed in the basement by yourself. Nobody over here with you. And that's what you want to do. You're going to do. But you're not going to kill yourself. You're not going to be out here getting hit by no cars and no shit. And I was like, what? And so.
You're like, wait, I can smoke weed?
But like, then my granddad found it. And then she was like, sorry. What are you doing? Like she like flipped out I'm like, but I just remember like her doing little stuff that was just kind of like I understood the balance with her. She wanted to be my friend, but she also wanted to be my parent. And so it was like, as a kid, I saw that and was like, all right, let me not disappoint her to where it make her regret being cool with me, because I need her, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, she was just always cool. And my first show is crazy. Like when the show had first started, I had all my frat brothers with me. And I didn't tell my mom because I was nervous.
Yeah.
And she called me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, about to go up at this open mic. What? And she drove down to the open mic. And I'm glad she came because I killed it. I got a standing ovation. And this is my first time doing stand-up. It was a big deal. She was there. You know what I'm saying? It was like full circle moment for her. So it's like, they super proud of it. Her and my dad. Everybody else, your family, when you have kids, them decisions got to be for you and your kids.
Yeah.
And that's such an important thing. Like my mom be like, why are you doing? I'm like, I got to do what I got to do for my kids. Like, I got to make a decision and stand on it so that, I got to be prepared for the repercussions or whatever. But it's like, my grandparents and them, they was mad at me for leaving my corporate job and starting comedy, and you having this baby and you out here, and they tried to make it hard on me to try to make me fold. And I'm like, man, y'all don't even know, like, I'm an Ace Club noob, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just whatever. And I turned them into believers. My granddad was at the nursing home. People know you in here. You know what I'm saying? Like the nurses and stuff.
That's so funny.
So they was treat him good. You know what I'm saying? And then, I would go up there and sneak him joints. Like, yeah, nigga, now who's smoking weed? Yeah, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
so funny. Now it's okay, huh?
Right, yeah, now it's cool.
So I see this ring on your finger. How long you guys been married? Tell us about how you guys met.
11 years. So
backstory.
we've been together for like 17 years.
Oh,
Where'd you
wow.
meet?
In college.
Oh, okay.
I met in college. So like I was like a counselor for this for this program for incoming freshmen, and then she was dropping off her cousin they was both freshmen, but she had a boyfriend up there. So she was dropping off her cousin, and then she was going to meet with her boyfriend, and then I just was like, oh man, like. You incoming? And she's like, yeah, like, you should come and see if we can put you in the program. We'll give you a scholarship. I was landed on, let me give you a scholarship.
I could give you one.
I can give you a scholarship.
And so, but I went and talked to the advisor. We had some space because I knew there was some kids that just always every year kids didn't show up.
Right.
So, it was July 17th, 2005. And then it's crazy because 717 is like one of the power numbers. Like my daughter was 7 pounds, 17 ounces. She was born at 717. We met on 717. Her mother's birthday is 717.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy, right? And so, that's how we met. We didn't start dating. We was just cool. I met her. She was like, man, you was, like everybody was liking you. I'm like, ain't nobody liking me. She said, they was all talking about how smart you was and da-da-da. And I ended up, she wasn't on our manifest of students because she was like a walk-in. So I just lost contact with her. And then my car had broke down. So one of my boys who was living in Detroit, like he's from Detroit, he was driving down like, man, you want to ride down to the city? Because I know your car mess. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go down for the weekend. We riding, and this chick he was talking to called him. He answered it on the speakerphone. What up? She's like, hey, what's going on today? Hey, when did I you talked to Chris Powell? And he like, why? I'm like, he like, why? I was like, oh no, because this girl said she met him and she was asking me about him and I'm like, and he like, oh, okay, what's her name? She's like, Reva. And I'm like, that's the girl. The girl was talking about. And so, I'm a junior at the time, so we like, he like, all right, well, set it up. Let's meet up this weekend. So we met up, and you know, it was just cool. We was just cool, and it just kind of just grew into, you know, us just, you know, you be with somebody that you like, and it's nobody to keep you all away from each other. So it's like college is different. Like them relationships get real because it's like, well, ain't no parents and ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? No, you know, it's just us, and we got to figure out our own shit and what kind of people are we going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so it was dope to figure out who I was while I was with her. You know what I'm saying? So we had a long conversation one night, and she was at my apartment, and I laid out what my life plan was. And so she always reminds me, like, yo, you did everything you said. I'm like, yeah, next semester I'm a pledge Kappa. Then after that, I'm a graduate. I'm gonna be a director or a writer. And after that, I'm gonna do. And she said, you walked it down, except comedy. I never told her I wanted to be a comedian because I don't want to scare her away. You know what I'm saying?
Like me, we gonna be broke.
But right,
me, right?
But I just, you know, and I used to always talk to her about my plans, and you know, and so I remember, like, you know, we would get at it and break up for a couple weeks, and you know, or a couple months sometimes. She'd go get her a new boy. I mean, this is years.
Yeah.
And so, but I just remember, like, man, like something about opening up to her, it was hard to do it to somebody else. It felt like a chore to revisit the idea of, you know what I'm saying? So it was like she was kind of ingrained. So we always kind of circled each other, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, you know, she was, I was making commercials. I was in Detroit, and she was at school still finishing up her senior year. And, you know, we was kind of like had telling everybody we was breaking up, you know what I'm saying? So that mean that we got to be back together in private because we told everybody we hated each other.
Posted on my
You know what I'm saying? So
single.
and, you know, it just, you know, yeah, man, we ended up, it just got real deep. I went to this thing called like, it was a forum, like a motivational speaking forum, and it just hit me like, dog, like, I'm about to plan out the rest of my life. And I called her like, hey, I know you got this new nigga. I get that, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think I got a plan. And, you know, it's like, man, you know, I was selfish. I just called her like, man, you know, I see now some ways that I could get better, you know what I'm saying? Like with what I want to communicate and how I want to communicate. And just how I want to be patient, whatever. And I guess Buddy was fucking up because she was like, well, let's meet up.
She was ready to go. She was ready.
Let's meet up.
You to get it together.
Yeah, fuck that tall ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so, yeah, man, we just, you know, and then I remember like from the day that I found out she was pregnant, we were together every single day. Like it was like, oh, I gotta watch you. I gotta watch your attitude. I know who you are. And so and I had these two dogs, and they used to fart a lot. And she's like, I smell it. I was like, oh, I had to get rid of my dog. It was all kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
When did you guys decide to move from Detroit to LA? Like how was
that's, you know what's crazy? I was talking to my wife about that today because my youngest daughter wants a easy bake oven. Wow. And we were talking about how my oldest daughter used to have one. And I'm like, man, she never even used that thing. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she never used, I bought her that thing. She's like, she was baking shit every day. She's like, but you was in California setting it up, and you kind of, and I'm like, man, like it hurt my feelings every time I think about the fact that I had to do that, because I remember, like, so I came out here in 2013 and started writing projects. And so, you know, you talk about my daughter was 2. You know what I'm saying? My oldest was 2 around that time. And so, you know, and I'm going back and forth. Then we end up getting pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I'm still back and forth for like 5 years, back and forth.
Wow.
Months here, months there, because I was like, even this is before I even came to All Deaf, and I was just a producer. I was producing all these ideas. I'm a puppeteer. I got all these shows and ideas. And so I would just miss all this time. And it's like, you know, my daughter, I would go back and like, damn, you getting tall, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's weird. Like, I got a taste of what it would feel like to not be there. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of dads get that because we got to get out here and work. And it's like the least you could do with all the stuff that the mom got going on. It'd be crazy when I'm watching these women who have to work. Not that women who love her career and want to do that, but it's like, damn, you got to work and do all of the stuff that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it's not, you know, I get it. Everybody's situation is different, but, you know, I wanted it to be a good transition. Like, she was working at the time. We was doing what we had to do. I was broke out here, sleeping on couches and, you know, just waiting for a break. And then when the break came, my baby is getting older. She asked me, when are we moving to California? You said we're going to California. I want to see California. What is California like? And, so that's pressure.
Yeah.
And so I remember like when I got my first big check, I had my assistant, he found our condo and, it was just like, I stopped her she was in the middle of kindergarten, stopped that, and brought her out here and let her finish kindergarten. And it was just like, but it was, I had missed so much. That was the beginning of the overcompensation dad thing.
Yeah.
And they had to watch that. Because I gave them, they moved out in February, it was like February 17th. So like 17. And they had a Christmas when they got there. They didn't know I had their rooms full of toys. And you know what I'm saying? So they was like, but it was like, I felt bad. They didn't realize that, but I'm like, man, I did a lot for us to get here, and I missed a lot for us to get here. You know what I'm saying? I'll be out here on holidays sometimes just because I couldn't afford to fly back, and I got to be here when the holiday is over, so I might as well just stay straight through because we ain't got money to be flying coast to coast. I'm eating white folks Easter and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now, shout out to your wife, though, because that is like, how many years was it? You said 5 years that you were going back and forth. Shout out to her for holding you down with this dream. Because was she ever like, okay, how long is this going to take? Or was it always like, we'll write it out?
I'm going to tell you, like, my wife what's funny is that she's a trooper, right? But it's like, she's human.
Yeah.
And what happens is, when you get married, y'all business is y'all business. And so when the family, it becomes embarrassing when it feels like we need too much help and and that's where I feel like, man, I got to make sure I can hurry up because, her family is, helping us watch the girls and, you know what I'm saying? And so now they're looking at it like, well, what is this guy really doing? And, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, right. So as much as she could ride for me, as much as she could at the same time, it's like, this is her family. They're concerned about her. And, and I got my family who getting secondhand embarrassment from feeling like I'm embarrassed. So they like, do something. Shit, you over there got them girls over, you know what I'm saying? So, it's difficult, but I think that what I had to prove to my family and her family and just be the first person in our solar system, in our group to do it is just that it's like, man, it takes more than what you've ever done before, which is why it looks like something you've never seen before.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that, for our family, my nieces and nephews and all of that are going to come up having a way easier time chasing their dreams because it's always going to be like, well, Chris did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they can always say that,
Yeah.
And so that makes it worth it. But the time away from my kids was rough.
Yeah.
I believe it. No, it's amazing how that you had the support system from your wife, because I know what that was looking like for everybody else. Because I think about that, when you have somebody in your corner, it makes living your dream easier. Because I think about my parents when I moved out to LA, I moved by myself, but I'm so grateful that they helped to support me, because there were some months I was like, look, I just need a little bit of change. And they were just like, okay, we'll help you. Instead of being like, no, you need to come back. You live in this dream and it ain't happening. Because if they did that, I honestly probably would have left. It got so dark and so trying to live my dream. And so when you have somebody in your corner like that, it makes the world of difference. Even if there's just one person, it makes a world of difference.
I'm always, just like Yogi on the show, right? I'm a living testament of man, you gotta hold on to the people who mean a lot and stop throwing people away.
Yeah.
I think that what happens is that one thing me and my wife had was a rapport. We took the vacations. We was in college, you know what I'm saying? We did all of that. And so it's like, she knows me. She knows how smart I am.
Yeah.
She knows how good I am at what I do. She knows where I graduated in my class. And so it's very easy for her to be like, you do everything you say you're going to do, so I trust you.
Yeah.
But
a man with a plan.
It's crazy. I'm not trying to tell all his business, but just this morning I was telling him, because he's on the verge. Well, I guess I can't tell all his business because they be looking.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Terrell.
Oh, your husband. I was like, wait, who?
But it's like, I was telling him, if you want to make this shift, because we knew each other in college too.
Yeah.
It's I was like, we have proved to ourselves that we can make things happen. All we need is each other.
Yeah.
That's all we need. We have gone through all these different phases of saying what we wanted to do, and we do it. I'm like, we're different. was like, we are different. We can do this.
And that's a testament of staying down.
Right.
Like people who are single or people who don't know how to build a rapport with new people or they don't understand, you know, why would you stick with somebody like fam? Because I know her in a way that, you know, I'm proud of her.
Right.
It's like, you know, it's like she could do something and, you know, I know her so well that I'm like, man, I'm happy that you asserted yourself in that way. And then I see the positive in a lot of stuff because nobody's perfect and we just people and people just need somebody to be, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you learn that when you're on this journey and you need, you know, my granddad is mad at me and that's like one of my heroes. I'm like, this nigga not talking to me because he
not talking to me either.
You know what I'm saying? Because of my
we
little
gotta switch
dream.
subjects. I'm about to cry. This is getting too deep.
Wait, are y'all the same person? Like, y'all got the same life?
I
Like,
know.
But, it's just like, but I think that there's such a strong. My grandfather, he passed away, rest his soul. But I think that he thought that I was gonna push the hard work from our family down the drain.
Right.
Like we moved here from Mississippi and I came up here to work at Chrysler and my dad did, and it's like, you know, but then later on in life, I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me this? He was like, you know, his dad wanted to be a comedian.
Oh.
And I'm like, what?
So you are your ancestors'
him.
wildest dream.
And
right?
he like, what do you mean? Like, man, he was real good at playing a dozen. So here's what happened. A lady at the nursing home, shout out to my girl Erica at the nursing home. She watches Roast Me. Her and her husband, they all watch, you know, Roast Me.
Yeah.
And so she saw my picture on his mantle and she was like, that's CP. He like, yeah, that's my grandson. He do comedy. He don't just do comedy. He's, you know, he can roast. And so when I went to see him, he's like, man, I heard you doing all this stuff. He's like, man, you know, my daddy was they consider him the best roaster in Detroit in
That's
the 40s.
so great. In the 40s?
In the 40s.
In the 40s.
You have a legacy of roasting?
Right. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, man, look, we used to, like, so they used to do construction downtown Detroit. And so all of the crews was mainly white guys.
Yeah.
And so the black guys from each crew, they would all get together in one yard. And so they would all eat and they would play the dozens. And he said, man, you had people come from all the crews to hear Hank Powell talk about, you know, and he used to say like the craziest shit, like this nigga look like he was bathed in his mother's piss and everybody be dying. But in the 40s, that's like Miles Mabley is out and people like, he said piss, you know what I'm saying? And that's, but it was like, you know, at that time, the opportunities weren't as plentiful as they are for a black man. And so, you know, my grandfather was taught that it's sacrifice before the dream by his father, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, my grandfather played like backup saxophone for like a lot of Motown albums. And so he wanted to go on a road, he wanted to do this, but he had his kids and he had to, and it's like I broke that mold and it scared him.
Yeah.
You got to be a man. I'm like, I am being a man.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to have money, like, but if I do this right, I can have money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, before he passed away, he told me like, man, you didn't listen to nobody and you did it. And, you know, and so I think that as a dad, it's just like, man, understanding that there are going to be things like that I'm passionate about, that I have an opinion about, that my kids are going to know better than me.
Yeah.
You know, and I got to just be like,
you got to support them on that. And I know that's so big because you do what you do so that your kids can do what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget that because you have an idea of what you want them to do. So like I always have to challenge myself and I'm always like, okay, Megan, like don't have any preconceived notions of what your child is going to do. So when people ask me like, what do you hope he does when he grows up? I'm like, I don't know. I just hope he is not living with me at 40. That's like, I just, that has to be the only goal that I have for him. Because I want him to be able to be successful on his own without me telling him what that looks like. He doesn't have to be, like my dad was always like, you need to be a Rhodes Scholar. I was like, I don't want to go to England. Like, girl, he said that to me the other day. I was like, you know how old I am, Daddy? I'm not going back to school to be a Rhodes Scholar.
I had to catch myself because I used to be like a competitive cheerleader, like dancer, and then had an injury. And then, so my 4-year-old had her first recital last weekend. And they were like, who wants to volunteer? I was like, oh, I volunteer. And then like, oh, who wants to do like stage left? Oh, I'll be on the stage.
Stage
like,
bomb.
I'll be on the stage. And so like, I had to catch myself. Well, I mean, Halo was in the front. She was doing her flips. She was doing her thing. She was the star, whatever. However, I was just like, come on, Halo, next. She had 2 recitals. I was like, next time, okay, you got to make sure you do the little, like, you got to do the leg lift, then the splits, and then you got to do the little spin we practice. And I was like, look, girl, let her do her thing. Like, get Get back in the...
But it's like, but you gotta understand how dope it is to see your parents passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So there is like a line like she's loving that you're like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, and
I try to be like that crazy mom, like
no,
you know,
right. We're doing it this way.
Let me get in the back. Let me get behind the curtain. Shut up.
You know, you got to leave them room to just really just do it. And I think that we know them so well. We know what they'll be good at.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my late 30s, and so do y'all remember? Like there was a time if you're in your late 30s. Everybody wanted to be a marine biologist for some reason. Like, you remember that? Like,
it was something. I don't know if they were just teaching us about the ocean, and we're like, oh, there's a whole like profession. What?
It's like it just came out.
They
when we
made
was
it
kids.
up.
Like,
It's a whole new rec.
Like 92, like marine biologist. That's what I want to be a marine.
Right. I don't even like animals, but I was like, oh yeah, dolphins.
Yeah, man. You know, and I just remember my mom. But how much they make? And I'm like,
right, exactly.
That's the thing. Like how much they make, and maybe I could be a zoologist. So you clean that monkey shit. Like, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I got to college, and you know, I got an engineering because my mom said she worked at the plant with my granddad, and they all was like, man, engineers just do what they want to do.
Money.
Engineers, they don't got to do nothing. They just fix a machine and they go sit down. I don't want to just go sit down. Like, what you talk about? Like, but I get it. It's like they wanted me to have it easy. They wanted me to, you know what I'm saying, have you know a pleasant.
It's similar to what you said. I don't know if we were on or off camera, but you were like, if they don't want to take this easy job, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah, both my kids are Cameron and Kylie. They're both CPs. Right. So my company is CP Productions. My ideal dream is that one of them takes over. Mm-hmm. And I tell them all the time, like, one of y'all got to lead the company. And they're like, but it's like, all right, it's just an option that y'all can have.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do this, but it's like, it's here. Like, nothing was there for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? You can do this.
Yeah.
I know Judge Mathis' daughter. We went to Michigan State together. And I see her running the company now. And I'm like, you damn right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's how that's how it's supposed to go.
That's what it is. You should, leaving a legacy for your children, brother. You know, whatever that is, whether it's like monetary or like I have left you this company, you have the option of like running this, or you have the option. If you're not gonna run this, you need to be successful in some way, but at least you have the option, right? Like,
you imagine Batman's son going to medical school? Like, nigga, if you don't get your ass down in this cave and throw these boomerangs, you are a baby Batman. Like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
No, Dad, let me do my own thing.
Pediatrician signal going up in the air. There's a sick kid. Like, nigga, get your ass over here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, I have to talk to you about. So you're acting. So you're a writer. You've been a writer on Black Jesus, Detroiters.
Black Jesus, Detroiters.
You acted in Detroiters, Empire. I didn't even know you were on Empire.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Wait,
CP.
what episode?
I was so like the first season of Empire, I was like 4 episodes. I was Hakeem's best friend. So like you remember when he peed in that bar? I was like, man, how you do that? When your mama know Obama? Yeah. So like, yeah.
Wait, that was you?
That was me.
Did I know you back then?
Nah, nobody. I was living in Detroit and Chicago.
That's when everybody was watching Empire.
Yep, I was like, yeah.
When it was popular.
I fell off
when
on
it,
the
like,
last
broke
season.
records.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Every episode was doing
Yeah.
more and more millions of viewers. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. And so recently you've been on Love Life on HBO Max, which, by the way, great show.
Excellent show.
Actually, I didn't watch the first season. I just watched the second season because it was black.
That's all you got.
First season, I was looking at all the pictures. I was like, second season. Oh, everybody black.
But you know
in
what's
this?
crazy though? Everybody loves the first season and the way it's written. I mean, the second season. So you'll go back to the first season to get that same feel about a different person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's dope.
So it was cool. Like, and tell us the story how you got the part, because it wasn't supposed to be, because you were in every episode, and you weren't. It wasn't originally written like that.
So what happened was, it was crazy. I had just braided my hair up like for the first time, you know, and I'm like, something about it was like, man, I go into these board meetings and these white dudes be having these mullets and bald heads and spikes and shit. And I'm like, that's their prerogative. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And unless we push the needle and bring our black hairstyles to the shit, I got all this damn hair. I ain't finna just be a little tight curly fro for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so I did it, but then I immediately got this audition. I'm like, oh, they ain't trying to have no braided up nigga in here. So I do the audition. I didn't hear nothing for 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. And then they called me like, hey, they want you to do it again. I'm like, how slow are they? What are they doing over there? You know? And so I did it. But this time, the scene I did was the karate school scene that I did in episode 1. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I like this dude. Like, he, you know, just like, you know, innuendos that I would add. Like, you know, I wouldn't take my eyes off my kid. Even if somebody talked to me, like, whatever your relationship problem is not more important than why I'm here.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm listening. And so they were like, man, like, we didn't teach you that. Like, we didn't tell you to do it. I'm like, right, I just wouldn't do this. Right. And then the little kid, it was a little boy, it's my son, climbing all over me and doing the line. I'm like, they may not have used that take, but they were like, man, you really good with kids. I'm like, yeah, I have kids, bro. Yeah. And they're like, it just looks so natural. And so after the first episode, I had added a lot of ad libs, like, like the smooth teeth thing and all of that. And so they called my agent like, hey, because I was supposed to come home. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in these next episode. I'm about to go home. Because I didn't have an apartment out there. I just had like a little stipend. I was staying in a hotel. They were like, hey, you can't go home. I'm like, I ain't seen my kids in 3 weeks, bro. Like, I got to get out of here. Like, and they're like, no. They want you to be in, they want to give you, they want you to be in 9 episodes now.
Oh, wow.
And all you were supposed to be in was 1?
3.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So, and it was like, yeah, they're
amazing.
9 episodes now. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's 4. That's 5 more episodes. They're like,
Right.
I'm like, so what I gotta do? I'm in a hotel. I'm like, what I gotta do? They're like, yeah, we gotta get you an apartment. We gotta do that. I'm like, oh, I'm moving.
Moving up.
And so, what happened was because originally I was gonna go there and stay because of the pandemic. I was gonna go there and get nestled in and just kind of be there but then I got there. I'm like, I don't really like this. Like New York is like. When your first impression is like, man, it's all dirty. This little ass crib, I'm playing more than my shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this is like and it's like, but then you understand like there's a certain charm to New York because their cribs are small because they outside.
Yeah,
like they're not at the crib. Like we in Cali, like Netflix, like they outside, like And so it's just I started to have these like the directors would be like, hey, we want you to stop rehearsing. Because every time we do a rehearsal, you say something hilarious, and then we come back and you forgot what you said.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just living, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? So then they would just call me down to film, and I would just go down and just, and I told them I want to do this like Will Ferrell, where it's like I know the scene, but I'm kind of in my own space with it.
Yeah.
And, for as much as they could, they allowed me to do that. And so, you see me very little in some episodes because I'm not even supposed to be there. It's like they kind of just, they're adding me in different spots to, what I'm saying?
That's how you do it.
And so, and it's a very big deal. They, I've had a lot of meetings with them. They're very happy with the job I did and they want to continue to whatever, to keep conversations open and, what I'm saying, just about other projects. And I'm open to it, but I'm also like, I'm happy that I did what I did.
Yeah.
And if nothing else come, I feel like I did a great job with that. And
You did. Watch it. Love Life on HBO. You did really good. You on,
why did
you
you
on
tell him to go
HBO?
back to his wife?
he said,
did, right?
The first episode. I was like,
Oh,
why?
yeah.
I was in the kitchen cooking. I was like, why are you telling him to go back to the white lady?
But you know what that was? That was about.
I know what it
That
was
was about like the
morals.
grass ain't greener.
But right, or it's just like, bro, avoid drama. Because I remember I said, like, bro, this is messy. Like, I don't even go nowhere. Like, avoid drama at all costs if you can.
Yeah.
And, and then I'm looking at her like, bro, she out your league anyway. You little ugly ass nigga. What you gonna do with this? You know what I'm saying? Not like that.
But that you really made this. You was playing yourself. I was like, this is CP.
Yeah, it really
okay,
is. Yeah,
he
for
is not
real.
trying to be nobody else. This is his role. This is him.
And I think that just for my first big role where, like that, it was important for me to be somebody who I respect.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could have been Joffrey from Game of Thrones, where it's like, I don't even want to see. If I see him in Vines right now, it might be smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, this for salsa, nigga.
Joffrey.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So it's like, it's certain characters, man, that really just rub me the wrong way. Yeah. And you never can get over that.
Yeah.
Cameron from Paid in Full. Every time I see him, I'm like, man, y'all better be
That's all
careful
you
around
see.
him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird, but yeah.
Well, we definitely wish you the best, and I know we're gonna see a lot more of you in Hollywood. So don't forget us.
Oh, whatever. Nobody forget you.
Don't forget us when you get real big and stuff.
And don't act like Meg ain't no roaster too. Meg hurts feelings. Meg come in with the crushers. Like we all be playing games. Meg be like, your feet little. You know, oh shit, I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's real, Meg. These are an 8. What are you trying to do to me? You know what I'm
I'm tired of y'all. I'm so sick
Because
of
y'all
it.
would be laughing at her jokes. I'd be
Don't be
laughing
laughing
at her
at my jokes.
I be laughing at you.
I laugh at big
You
jokes.
do. You do. CP's always respected
'cause
me.
We did
I
dad
appreciate
jokes and you
that.
killed me with your little jokes on
I
Christmas.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay, CP, I appreciate you. Yes. So what can we see? What do you have upcoming projects, events, anything like that we can check you out on?
I'm working on my hour special right now.
Hey.
Netflix?
It's gonna be very, very
Yeah, where we
disturbing.
gonna see this at? Are you just gonna put it out, or are you just gonna?
No.
Shop around
I got
first.
some people who are trying to, some networks, just because I think that when I'm an actor now, but they don't know that I got the stand-up element. And that if you kind of if I jump into something else, that's cool. But if I step back and drop a special that shows my whole frame of reference, then we can have a push. Like, oh, he could do this, he could do this, he could do this.
Yeah.
So I would rather step back, work on that, and then go forward.
Then your
let us
negotiation
know so
becomes
we
a
can-
lot higher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Negotiation
Make sure you put
becomes
the-
more powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I got a couple of projects that I'm dropping. So that's going to be exciting too. I got one called Oaklandia that myself, my partner Dan, who is like a big DreamWorks guy. He did a lot of, like Captain Underpants and all that. And then Snoop Dogg and Vince Vaughn were all coming together and creating this show about like gentrification and we was in Oakland. But it's dope because it's like a black family. It's like almost like like sort of like your Family Guy kind of vibe, but it's black and it's like authentic, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people from Oakland, that I, just
I'm going on Saturday.
you know what I'm saying? Some Bay Area legends that's gonna come and lend their voice and also just add the flavor. And then I just wrote a DreamWorks movie too.
What?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
wrote a movie for
Yes,
DreamWorks.
Yes, like, and so it's crazy because
Wow.
somebody hit me and said like, "Yo, we had a DreamWorks." My neighbor is an animator for DreamWorks, and because their campus is in Glendale, and so they got a big old campus, and so we would go there sometimes, but really we just wrote at the crib because of the pandemic. But they were at a meeting. And they were showcasing the new movies coming out and the new writers. And they're like, there you are, big old face on the screen, like written by, and it's dope. And it's teaching kids about like racism and how to work together. I think that with all the stuff that happened in 2020 and 2019, that's kind of where the idea came from. And so we're using animals and barn animals and city animals as like the urban and suburban and how they got to work together. But it's funny. I really enjoy writing this kid movie, and they really loved it because, writing is rewriting a lot of times.
Yeah.
And very, very rarely you will hit an all-netter where it's like, we're good. Like, we like this. And I ain't gonna say it was like that. We had some, but it was like, they really, really liked it, and
dope.
this we going forward. So I'm excited about that.
I'm so proud of
Say
you.
congratulations. I respect you, but I'm just like, this is everything.
DreamWorks movie, and then you're a puppeteer. And you have what, Reggie Bo, the weed smoking Muppet that is like.
Well, he is weed. He don't smoke weed, but he is.
Oh,
weed.
okay. Well, yeah.
And so you have to know what to know, and a lot of kids like Reggie Bo, so that's why I started changing it up. It's easier to be a killer than it is to be a drug. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Bo kind of is he has like a Dexter vibe, where if you like a bad person, but instead of saying that he's weed, I do everything that weed does. So he might be hungry, he might be paranoid, he might be this. But you would never know he's weed unless you know. Kids can watch it and they would never. It's just like Shrek. You know how Shrek got a little adult jokes in for us?
Yeah, but
that's kind of what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing with Reggie. But I'm just sick of doing it right now. I take a break because I be all on the floor and shit
I was gonna ask you how you even so you're really just doing. You're not
puppeteer,
I'm puppeteer.
Yes, it's like a Muppet. He looks like a Muppet.
Dang.
Yes.
Jim Henson. So I worked with Jim Henson Company a couple of years ago, which
Wow.
is crazy. They hit me up on Christmas, like some Illuminati puppet type shit. This was maybe 7 years ago. I was doing Reggie Bo, and we had sold a pilot for Reggie Bo to TBS, I want to say. So we shot the pilot. We had Ari Spears and Natalie Reed in the pilot, and then. But before we shot the pilot, the Deadline article comes out. When the Deadline article dropped, Jim Henson Company called me and asked me to come meet.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's up? So when I get there, I'm thinking it's all hype. They got Fraggle Rocks and all this stuff in there.
Yeah.
They're like, your puppet curses, and is it drugs? And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. They're like, well, it looks like a Muppet.
It does.
And I'm like, what you trying to say? There's well, we just, basically they wanted to be involved. And so I started.
Give me some money.
They want to be involved.
I want to be involved.
Take something.
So
Damn.
but it worked out because, in order for me to be in it with Reggie Bo, I need a puppeteer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up, that's how I met Kevin Clash, and I worked with Kevin Clash, who does Elmo.
Okay.
And so he's the best in the world. And so just to have him be like, you self-taught? Was oh shit, I must be really. He's like, man, no, he's like
That's dope.
And Elmo's black, right? He's
oh
black.
yeah, black.
Okay.
He had a little allegation, so he was cheap to order, cheap to hire for our project. You know what I'm saying? Bring your freaky ass over here, nigga. You ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was it was dope to realize that I'm in a new true. Like I'm on ADD. People know me as one of the all deaf guys, but I'm also like in this small group of like black puppeteers, and like we know each other.
That is so crazy.
Sky is the limit.
I'm telling you, CP is that dude, okay? And when I start and he's so humble with it because he don't never talk about this stuff. He never talks about this stuff. Like you would never know about him.
He's like you.
What?
You do the same thing.
Yeah,
Meg's like
Meg
that
pop
too.
up with a brand sponsor.
Yeah.
How you get NASA? Like, well, you know.
I forgot.
Here we go. Anyway, let's get into our last segment of the day.
What
it's
is
called I'm Fine. It's the segment where, people may ask us how we're doing and then we lie. We're like, I'm fine, but we're really not. So we're giving you inspiration so you will be fine. I have 2 quotes for today. So let me read them because I want to make sure I don't get them wrong. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. That's from Powell, your cousin, because you got the same last name.
Yeah, CP. Yeah.
That's your cousin.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah. And then the other one is hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Langston Hughes.
Oh.
Yes. Perfect. So, I want to say that just because we're talking about dreams,
Yeah.
CP is a dream. Look, like I said, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams fulfilled for real.
Literally.
I gotta thank my wife.
For real.
Like,
shout out to your wife.
You hear that?
I'm
You hear that, fellas?
gonna tell you why though. I'm gonna tell you why. And it's not nothing that she did intentionally, even though she does everything intentionally. She's amazing. But like our relationship saved me from the shame of having to get with somebody and proving myself. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, can you say that slower for me?
For sure.
Okay, thank you.
So like what it did was, like my relationship, being in a relationship with her saved me from being one of these guys that's bouncing around from woman to woman. Every woman you bounce away from, like I have to build my self-worth up every time because it's like, so like, let's say I date this girl and she's, a mover and shaker and all of that, but maybe she doesn't love me enough to suffer with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like my wife, so you understand when you get on the other side of it, like, man, you went through that with me?
Right.
For me? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna buy you a Benz because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the fellas need to hear that because I don't think men. Sorry, this is gonna go down the hole, but I don't think men realize too. Like, it's not just women. Like, dating around. Like, when you give yourself every time you interact with another.
Well, you make it harder to find yourself, and so we should be trying to find her. That's the whole thing.
Right.
And so I think that the men who do date a lot of women are trying to get validation that they probably deserve and need. And nothing wrong with that. And I think that we need to look at, honestly, while we're looking at the men, we need to look at the women and how they choose to value us in different ways. Because it's like, I also have people who, like, I wasn't good enough for.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I wouldn't even, it's like, ew. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
how many women would it, like, when you were doing the whole back and forth trying to figure out like what you wanted to do and you were broke, giving your daughter juice boxes for Christmas, like how many women would have been like, okay, I can't do this. He's broke.
And so it's like, I think that, no matter, women, y'all, we love y'all, but y'all get on our nerves. Because it's different. We're like the same species, but a different area of it. And everything is like that. But it's like, the energy is so important, that nurturing energy. It's not just about the kids. It's about like a woman speaking life into you. Like, women are the money. I say that women are the money. This planet, nothing is beautiful without a woman. Like, I don't care for what it is. It could be a valley full of the most rare flower on the planet. But if it's only niggas there, you know what I'm saying?
So ugly. And stink. It's probably gonna stink over there a little bit.
Nigga, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just like, I definitely don't want to think that I did all of this on my own accord. It was having a teammate that saw me for what I could be. You know what I'm saying?
Look at you praising the Lord. Yes. Women, we make the world go round.
I'm sure Terrell, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, he don't.
Why
it's me and him saying the same shit.
I know him.
Why did we bring you? We should have brought her today. Tell your wife to come on.
I know, right? I know. I ain't gonna lie. She's like, so who podcast is that? This man's podcast about mommy need a break. She's like, well, I guess they don't understand.
No, we want to talk to her too.
Okay,
We definitely
okay.
want to talk to her. So we'll be connecting with you, get her information.
It's gonna really surprise y'all to see what kind of woman she is.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are speaking on her behalf, so we
Right.
know that she is amazing.
You know she's dope.
Very reserved. She is like my, I don't want to call her an introvert. She's just like she like an eagle. You know what I'm saying? Like she just watches.
She watching, she
everything.
protected,
Yeah.
she's holding
You
it
know,
down. She
and
does.
she let me know like, I'd be like, really?
No,
I'd
absolutely
be like,
not.
damn it! I thought that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, you gotta give her the sauce, man. That's, I mean, and I think that's important too. That makes me a better man to empower her. It made me feel like, that's like, make you a doper nigga when you
does.
empower your lady. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what you're supposed to do.
yeah, you gotta be like that.
I always say I'm only here living by dreams because he has
See?
set it up for
Yeah.
me to do
I know,
so.
yes, all
I
of
said
this.
that yesterday.
Her husband did all this for her.
Yeah.
Look
They're
at it.
slaving for me.
It's like a coach can't win the Super Bowl without the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'm out here running I'm running these plays, but you calling the plays. And so we both champagne together at the end of the season. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? It's a coach of the year and the MVP.
Black love.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
for
talking
real.
about.
All
All right,
day.
CP, before we get out of here, where can people find you?
Man, I make it easy. Comedian CP on everything. Except for TikTok. This African dude stole my TikTok. Nigerian brother tried to sell it back to me. I'm like, nigga,
Are you serious?
yes. I'm like, man, you get out my damn DM. Like, I have your TikTok. I'm like, I have your TikTok.
Look into the camera.
Look at me. I am your TikTok now. Like, man. I'm like, bruh. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching and listening to another episode of Mommy Needs a Break. We do this podcast every week. We have great mommy and daddy guests. So if you have any suggestions, let us know. Because, we want to talk to interesting people like CP. I'm Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop everywhere.
And I am Marisa Johnson at She is Marisa J. Make sure to follow Bobby Needs a Break on all platforms, and we will see you next week.
Bye.